Reform UK leader Richard Tice has claimed that the UK's net zero strategy is the biggest economic disaster to hit this country. I'm Mike Siviour of Vox Political, and I've got something to say about that. But first, let's hear what Mr. Tice had to say.
Under no doubt, net stupid zero is the greatest act of financial self-harm ever imposed on this country. Our bills since the general election are almost £300 higher. Experts say there'll be another £900 higher per household by the next general election. I've asked Ed Miliband numerous times in the Commons, when are the bills going to come down?
That's a big claim, and one that raises immediate eyebrows. Because for millions of us, the title of biggest economic disaster is already taken by Brexit. So let's take a step back. Net zero is the UK's legally binding target to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2050. This isn't a green dream, it's a scientific necessity, recommended by the UK's own Climate Change Committee and aligned with the International Paris Agreement to avoid catastrophic climate impacts. Critics, like Tice, argue that the costs of decarbonisation, retrofitting homes, scaling up renewables, transforming industry, are unbearable burdens on the economy. But here's the thing. Net zero is an investment, not just a cost. Yes, it requires spending, but it also creates jobs in clean energy, boosts energy security, reduces exposure to volatile fossil fuel prices, and prevents the far larger economic toll of unmitigated climate change. According to a 2021 Office for Budget Responsibility report, unmitigated climate change would ultimately be far more costly than the cost of bringing emissions down to net zero. Now, compare that with Brexit. Driven by a campaign full of nationalist bravado and, let's not mince words, dishonesty, Brexit has already delivered measurable economic harm. The UK economy is 4 to 5% smaller than it would have been without Brexit, according to the Office for Budget Responsibility. Trade has been disrupted, small businesses battered by red tape, investment flows reduced, and labour shortages worsened. Government figures show that Brexit will shrink long-term GDP by far more than COVID ever did. It's no wonder that polls consistently show a majority of Britons now think leaving the EU was a mistake. So, why is Tice pointing the finger at net zero instead? Partly it's ideological. Reform UK, the successor to Nigel Farage's Brexit party, thrives on grievance politics. Having got Brexit done, they need a new bogeyman, and climate policy fits perfectly. It taps into anger about energy bills, distrust of government, and fear of change. But this narrative ignores the real causes of Britain's economic malaise: low productivity, underinvestment, a shrunken workforce, and yes, the fallout from Brexit itself. Make no mistake, transitioning to net zero is a huge challenge. It will involve winners and losers, but to call it the biggest economic disaster while ignoring the concrete, measurable damage of Brexit is not just misleading, it's gaslighting. If Richard Tice wants to campaign on fixing the economy, perhaps he should start by looking in the mirror, because the political movement he helped build has already done more to hobble Britain's economic prospects than any wind turbine or heat pump ever will. I've been Mike Siviour, and if you've enjoyed this, please like, comment and subscribe, and you can see me, or at least hear me, in the next one.